Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Gizmo Joe. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Bluetooth game controller by 8BitDo, or 8BitDo. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. If you know, let me know in the comments. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to call it 8BitDo. I think that sounds fun. Anyway, they are a company who is pretty familiar with a lot of gamers because they make superb Bluetooth controllers and that work on the Switch and your laptop or whatever that you're using, Android device, iOS. Anyway, the 8BitDo Zero is the product that I have in front of me right now, and as you can see, it is tiny. Now, why did I buy this? Well, I bought this because I fly quite a bit, and anybody who watches my videos probably knows that I'm American, but I live in Australia, so I fly back and forth quite a bit. And those flights are really long, a lot of downtime in airports and whatnot. So I'm always looking for things that can keep me occupied. And I love retro gaming, like most people. I grew up with Mario and Donkey Kong and Metroid and all those fun 8-bit, 16-bit era games, and they're enjoying a resurgence thanks to the NES and SNES Classic. But you can play a lot of them on your phone with emulators, and so that was my intention here. So obviously, when you're traveling, anybody who's done a little bit of traveling knows that space is at a premium. You have your carry-on bag, you don't have a lot of room, so I needed something fairly small that could hold a charge. And I did some research, and a lot of people were saying get the Zero. It's really, really tiny, so tiny it could fit on your keychain. And I said, that sounds ridiculous, I have to buy this. Now, you can get this guy on Amazon for about $16 US. I picked mine up actually from GearBest.com. I'll leave a link down in the description. I got it for like, I don't know, $9, so I saved about $7. It took forever for it to get here, but if you're impatient and you want it in 2 days, by all means order it from Amazon for an extra $7, but you can save yourself a little bit of money if you buy it from GearBest. Just be prepared to wait. So this is it. As you can see, it says the smallest controller. Now I'm not sure if this is Chinese or Japanese stock or whatever. I'm not familiar with that. If you know, let me know. But it appears to be a legit 8BitDo product. I don't think it's rip-off or anything like that. Hopefully not. But anyway, packaging, it's just a blister pack. As you can see, let's just open it up. It's really, really easy. There was a staple here. I just, removed that, obviously. So here's the ridiculously small controller. I'm going to put that off to the side for now so you guys can see. So here's the card. It doesn't say much. It just basically says that, you can use it on Mac OS, Windows, and Android. And it's got some instructions how to use it. Now, you could also use it as a sort of remote for your phone's camera, which I thought was a handy little extra added feature. So if you're into selfies or whatever, you want to take big group shots and you want to be in it, well, you can use this little guy to snap the photo for you, which is cool. Other than that, not much else to it. So let's have a look in here. As you can see, you get two little accessories, and that's it. That is literally the entire package. You get a little micro USB charging cable, probably one of the smallest I've ever seen. But it's a nice flat cable, and it feels like a pretty solid construction. So I could chuck this in my bag and not really worry about it. I think it would do quite nicely. And here is the little wrist strap. So if you look at the controller here, I think it has, yep, there it is. So you loop that in there, tie it off. You get a little wrist strap, which is cool. Now, alternatively, like I said before, you can put it on your keys just by looping a keychain in there and then hang it off your keys. To each his own, whatever you want to do. But anyway, this thing is super tiny. Let me just say, I'm not even sure if it would be comfortable playing games on this. I'm sure I get used to it after a while, but I think it would take a little bit of time to get used to this thing. So let's take a look at the back. It doesn't really tell us much, just tells us some product information, made in China, blah, 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 blah. So what do you get? You get your micro USB charging port up at the top. You got a left shoulder button, a right shoulder button. You obviously have your D-pad. No analog sticks here, obviously, in a package this small. So, you're probably going to be stuck playing older games with this. So, your Nintendo and your Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, that sort of stuff. You got your A, B, X, Y button, so you get your 4 buttons there, and what looks like a select and a start. Now, to get this guy paired up, you obviously have to charge it up, but if you look on the back here, it says press and hold start for 2 seconds to turn it on. So you'd hold this guy, 1, 2. There you go. So you saw the little flash down at the bottom. So now it's on. And then enter your device Bluetooth setting, and in order to pair, the LED will be solid blue when connection is successful. So right now you can see it's just a Bluetooth connection. It's just searching for my phone. So what I'll do is I'll grab my phone and I'll get it all paired up, and we'll play some games. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so I've paired up my 8BitDo Zero controller to my Lenovo 7-inch tablet. You'll notice that the blue LED on the bottom indicates that it is paired with the device. So, I mentioned before in the unboxing section that this is the tiniest controller I've ever seen or used, held, etc. So really the only way to tell whether or not this guy is actually usable, because it looks almost comical, is to actually play some games. So I am using MyBoy, which is MyBoy Free, which is an ad-supported Game Boy Advance emulator. I like my Game Boy Advance games. I'm not going to tell you where to get your ROMs, but I'm sure you can figure it out. But let's just fire up Castlevania here, and let's see. So it's a bit awkward trying to show you guys the controller in the screen. So I apologize if I'm not very good, but this is a great game. And so start, that works. So let's see, game start. Let's press start. Select data. Oh no, it went back. Sorry. Trying to figure out the buttons here. All right. So you'll notice I already started a game. So let's just get going. So. It's actually quite responsive. It feels really good. There's no lag whatsoever. And the buttons feel really good. And like I said, I apologize if I suck, but it's a bit awkward trying to play with this thing. So you're not going to actually hold this like you would a regular controller. I'm kind of holding it like this. I don't know if you can see that. But that seems to be the most comfortable. If you tried to cramp your hands around it, I think it would be difficult to hold, and it would probably result in some early onset carpal tunnel or something. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's very responsive. It feels really good to play an emulator like this on your Android device or iOS device or whatever using an actual controller. It's just way better than the on-screen controls. Anybody who's used MyBoy before knows that there are on-screen controls that are just awful. They're terrible. So, yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this so far. Let's, I'll shut up right now, and I'll just fire up a couple other games so you guys can see how awful I am at them. Alright guys, so overall I am super impressed with the 8BitDo Zero controller. I thought it would be way too small to be used comfortably. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but like I said, there is zero lag. The buttons actually feel really, really nice. And I had no problems pairing it with my phone, my tablet, or my PC. So definitely works with everything. And it's got this handy little keychain slot there, so you can literally carry this guy around with you wherever you go. I really recommend it. It is super cheap, and it definitely is something that will get you by in a pinch. You don't necessarily want to hold it like this. I think it would be too awkward, so I've ended up holding it like this. Took a little while to get used to, and as my performance indicates on some of those games, it's a bit awkward to use at first, but I suspect that the more I use it, the more I'll get used to it, and the better I'll be at it. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Gizmo Joe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Catch you next week. This is Gizmo Joe signing off.